IOC container. This IOC container represent a framework which is used for implementation of automatic dependency injection, which manage object creating and its lifetime, and also injects the dependency to the class. So IOC container is responsible for object creation management in the complete lifetime of the object, at the time when you create the object and you delete the object. Or it also inject the dependency to different class. As you see in the view graph, that the Spring container has the business objects. Based on the configuration metadata, this Spring container produce fully configured system which is ready for the use by developer or by end user. So IOC container, which is also called DI container, this framework help to produce fully configured system by taking different object, managing different classes, and create the dependency among different classes. IOC container is responsible to create the object of the specified class. Along with this, the dependencies which should be created for the objects, that part is also done in IOC container using constructor or methods, and this process happens in runtime, and those dependency dispose after certain process or at appropriate time. All the containers should provide the easy support for the complete life cycle, which start with from the register. If any issue arise, it should resolve, and once the work of that object class is completed, should be able to dispose. So the container should know that which dependency is required and when it is required, and at the time of the registration of the object, registration of the class, it should perform. If IOC container face some problem while registration or while communicating among objects, then the container should provide the resolution, and it should also include the methods to resolve the specific type of problems, to handle the specific type of problems, and the container develops the object of the specified type and create and process the required dependency among the classes and object, and it also exists there when it is required, and once the requirement is over, it has to dispose immediately. And the IOC containers must manage the lifetime of the dependent object, and many of IOC containers include different lifetime managers to manage the object lifecycle, and it is important to make sure when the work is done, you should dispose it properly. Full stack. So full stack web developer is a person who develop at both end, client end and server end. And what are the things are required to be a full stack web developer? The web developer should be mastered in HTML and CSS, and that person should know a program for browsing such as JavaScript, jQuery, Angular or Vue, should know the program for servers such as PHP, ASP, Python or Node, and the program for the database such as SQL, SQLite or MongoDB. So if a full stack web developer would like to only work in the front end, they should know HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, W3.CSS, JavaScript, ES5, HTML DOM, JSON, XML, jQuery, Angular, React, Backbone.js, Express.js, Ember.js, Redux, Storybook, GraphQL, Meteors.js, Grunt, Gulp, server software. If we talk about the backend, should know PHP, ASP, C++, C Sharp, Java, Python, Node.js, Ruby, REST, Go, SQL, MongoDB, Firebase.com, SAS, LAS, Pass.com, and Pass, or either one, Azure or Heroku. There are some popular stacks: JavaScript, Linux, Apache, MySQL, PHP for the LAMP stack, for LEMP stack, JavaScript, Linux, Nginx, MySQL, PHP. For mean stack, JavaScript, MongoDB, Express, AngularJS, Node.js. For Django stack, JavaScript, Python, Django, MySQL. For Ruby on Rails, JavaScript, Ruby, SQLite, and PHP. So these are the popular stack. And related to specific stack, the web developer should know the mentioned related language, programs, and softwares. Being a full stack developer, there are some advantage that person can master all the techniques involved in development project, and using this prototype can be developed rapidly, and it also helps to other team members. The cost of the project can be reduced, as a single person can be a resource person who knows almost many software, many programs for at back end and at front end, which reduce the cost of the project. It also reduces the time which is used for team communication, and if required, the person can switch. If the front end work is over, then it can switch to back end development, and at the time of the production of the software, it is very important. If any issue arises related to any end, back end or front end, that can be resolved by any of the full stack web developer. And the better understanding of all aspect of new technology. Along with the advantage, there is some disadvantage, that the solution chosen can be wrong for the project, and it may be dependent on other developer skill, and the solution can generate a key person risk, and being a full stack developer is getting complex because there are a lot of skills are required. And as we know that there are a lot of changes continuously happening for every platform, right? And there are a lot of certification which is introducing every month or in every 15 days. So it is very getting difficult for the full stack web developer to update themselves along with the project that they are working on. So there are few advantage, I would say many advantage and very less disadvantage. That's it for the day. I hope you have enjoyed the lecture. Thank you.